All right. I think we're live, or at least the video's live, so people should be able to see and hear us chatting now.
Yeah, nah.
I see a pic. There we go.
Yeah,
you
hey.
should be able
Holy
to see
crap!
me.
Yeah,
It's
I can definitely
working.
see Adam.
Yeah.
It's
People
working.
can see us.
Yeah, it's working. Praise the, I don't know, the hive mind. Let's say the hive mind.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
let's
this
say
is
the hot
really
one.
confusing. I can hear us twice. I'm going to mute our other thing.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
Nick, you should mute.
Sorry, I'm a noob.
Hey,
That was
Sylvania.
my reaction to Adam. I see why Adam's face is hidden until we start the chat, so that you can get reactions like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. Hey, World Sylvania, nice to see you here.
Oh, dude, Ward Slovenia.
People are
Yeah,
here.
well, we're streaming. We're actually, as people may have seen on Instagram, if people follow that, they were actually joined with Nick here, or Modern Synthesist. Oh, Eli's here too.
Hey, Eli.
Yeah. Well, yeah, nice to have you here, Nicholas. I'm going to switch between Nick and Nicholas and Mr. Pink and all those things.
Sounds good. You can call me Drew too if you want.
Hey, Drew.
Drew
Shut up, Drew.
and Andrew.
Wait, who's Eli?
Has a Instagram account called Red Wet Skeleton. It used
Okay,
to
yes,
be the
yes.
Dragons of Phaeton.
Yeah.
Okay, I know everyone's fake names. I don't know anyone's real names.
Yeah.
So Ward Sylvania is his fake name, so I know him. And Eli,
Yeah.
I know Eli's fake name.
Yeah.
Used to be Dragons of Phaeton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I think we're gonna try and keep this stream short and snappy because we all have work and stuff we have to do early in the next morning. But hey, Meandering Shade, good to have you here. So we're going to talk a little bit about our hobby efforts, and then we're going to move directly into a podcast where we're going to talk about some of the releases or the stuff.
The
that
exciting
showcased at
releases.
Spiel. I mean, I
I
know
don't know if
that's
people are
already
excited, but
yeah, them showing that stuff was already a few days ago, so like I've already almost forgotten about it. But
Can't you do that fancy thing where you put the pictures up?
no, it'll happen.
Awesome. I have my notes.
yeah, no,
You know I'm a real
pictures will
professional.
come up.
Yes. If we did that, maybe this our podcast would be
Wait a minute.
better.
If these season announcements are from Spiel, does that mean the Spiel de Jahr was announced? It must mean that.
I'm
the
sure
new
it
game
Probably
of the
means
year.
that.
I don't
It
know.
probably
which
means
one.
that.
What's the Spiel de Jahr of 2019?
I don't know.
Wait, Wingspan.
Was it Wingspan?
It looks like maybe it did.
Wingspan's a fun game about tending
Oh,
to
it's,
birds.
So there's three categories. There's the game of the year. There's like the more advanced, like harder sort of game of the year, and it looks like Wingspan won that.
Yeah, because I was going to say Wingspan is way more complicated than the other yearly winner games that I've played in the past.
Like fucking
Yeah.
Settlers of Catan.
Yeah,
Hey, everybody's got to start somewhere. Don't knock it.
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, Eli, we could talk about the new Tyranid models coming out.
You guys talked about those yet?
We've talked
we've
about them
talked-
off and on.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Aussie Arc Bone champions.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've talked about them.
Settlers Settlers can be great fun. It just depends on who you're playing with.
But that's kind of a description for all board games.
That's true.
Admittedly.
Although some I feel are.
It's the most fun when it's kept in the box.
Greg's opinions are out.
I like it well enough. It's fine.
No, but I mean, I feel some games you can play and enjoy a little more in isolation, and other games you're not. But I guess the better of the games are the ones where you're interacting with one another a lot. So that's what you want. Okay.
It's true.
So let's get into this and talk about like what we've been working on. I can say I haven't really worked on a whole lot since last week. So I just put up a picture of one of the Inquisitors I made a while ago and some of his warband members. In this case, this is Molnar and some of his agents. And the only reason I'm showing this is because I think sometime in the future I'm going to be working on making newer versions of some of these characters.
Yeah, these ones are so poorly conceived and constructed.
Yeah, it's been a while, and like I
Are
feel
you
I'm
saying that
pretty
because
happy.
they have normal 40K proportions?
So I was gonna say I'm pretty happy with like all of them for the most part, except for the Inquisitor Molnar. The other ones, their proportions they're okay. They're not as bad, but power armor, dude. So he isn't squatting. So
Well, you had to really cut him up to make him not squatting because he was initially squatting, and that wasn't even a GW. They weren't even GW legs.
yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, those are from the what's it called? The
Dreamforge.
Nazi dudes.
Yeah, them.
The Nazi Knights.
Yes, that's right.
Kensbracken, Eisenhorgen. What I don't know.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Wait, Nick, you don't the thing. You at least know that film, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Somebody made a board game out of it.
So is Eli trolling or is it actually a
No,
board game?
I think I never played it, but Eli, from my understanding, legitimately thinks it's good because we've talked about it before.
Yeah. I have not played it.
Is it like Settlers of Catan, but instead of a thief, you have a dog?
It's probably not a Euro game.
Probably
That would be
isn't.
my guess.
Yeah. Okay,
But
so
who
I
knows?
guess in terms of other hobby stuff, Eric, have you done anything?
I feel the same thing I've talked about on
We're
like
still
the
working
last
on painting the
stream.
bone trees. I brought
Yeah,
up a new picture. This is a little different from the one we were showing the week before.
Oh, you guys have bone trees from what's his name?
Helge, yeah. Wilhelm
Nice.
miniatures, yeah. Got the whole
Heigl?
set of them.
Cool.
Sent real money to a real person to get the real trees.
Mm-hmm.
Like cash?
No. Well, I mean, money was transferred, but it wasn't. It wasn't an envelope of cash. An envelope of U.S. dollars sent to Norway.
I'm pretty sure that's valid currency anywhere in the world.
That's true, though. It's true. It would be.
So Eli
More
says he
useful.
loves the board game based on the thing.
Cool.
And it's a lot
Well, I
more
can actually see his
conversation based. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
I've
fun.
been trying to paint these trees, but I basically haven't had much time to do anything, so they're slowly moving along.
Yeah.
Cool. How is the casting job on them?
Oh, they're pretty good. Since there was like a single piece mold that was just kind of cut, the mold lines are pretty good. It's clear that the molds were not made under pressure, such that there are some bubbles, both due to bubbles in the silicone mold as well as just bubbles when the resin is poured, but it's not terrible. And just with a little cleanup, you can do a pretty good job of it. And being it's like terrain and kind of, it doesn't matter that much. So
Wait, Eric, you're working on this?
I'm doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, Eric does stuff.
Amazing. Greg, when are we going to get you doing some models?
Never. Greg doesn't
Oh.
do stuff.
What if I like set? Oh wait, no, you were supposed to make me that hoverboard Primaris Marine.
I was supposed to make that so many times. It never happened.
There's still time. There's always a new Primaris Marine around the
I
corner.
mean, sooner or later they're gonna release a model that like almost looks like he's skateboarding, and you'll know that's the one to take.
Yeah.
It probably already exists, really. Okay. I'm gonna
Meandering
put,
Shade has some bone trees too. Sounds good.
Everyone has the. Everyone's getting them.
Yeah, I mean it's worth it. I feel they'll work for a lot of things, particularly Warcry, I think.
All right, Nick, I brought up your Instagram page. Are you working
Cool.
on stuff? Instagram suggests that you are working on stuff.
It suggests you're
Oh.
holding Polysmith boxes.
Should I go get that box? I can reveal what's in it on the stream.
Yeah, you could do that.
It's something you guys have already seen. But...
That'll
His
be more
boxes are
exciting than the rest of
super
the stream,
nice.
probably.
Okay, hold on. I'll be right back.
All right.
The Polysmith has ace boxes. Like,
Yeah, it's nice.
the production values of everything he does are like top tier.
Tip top.
Mhm. Yeah, but at least I guess Nick will talk more when he's back about his progress. But he's been doing a lot of sculpting on a Tyranid beast of sorts.
It's true. He's like one of the best creators of all sorts of crazy Tyranid creatures.
Well, there we go. Yeah. So I got the thing.
There's the box.
This is how serious business Polysmith is. He like brands his boxes.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
so
it looks
I
nice.
received a box from him a while ago, and he had a nice little box, and then instead of like the little Polysmith P there, he had like a strip of black cardboard that ensheathed the box, and then that P was punched out of it. It was solid. It was really nice looking.
So this one is like, I think he's getting busy because this is like you got a box and then you got some red. Oh shit, got some red tissue paper in it. But when I got him, when he made the power loader for me, that he made me feel ashamed with the way I've ever sent people models because I opened up the box and it had like the Polysmith logo on top and like blue paper on like this nice black box. And I opened it and he had done like sections of foam stacked on top of each other, like cut to the exact specifications so that like the model, like a 3D cut basically of the foam so that like it expanded as the model. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
So it was like these slices of foam that I had to keep pulling out to get the model out. And then I got it out and I showed it to my wife and she's like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then she broke the foot off of it. I was like,
oh.
So we'll fix that.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's real deal. So how do I make sure that it's on me? Or can
You
you
just keep
need to
talking.
be talking.
will
So-
stop.
Okay, la. So yeah, Polysmith. Actually, can you bring up his Instagram? Are you able to, Adam?
Yeah.
A little while ago, he made a kind of Eldar warrior guy that looks kind of like he has sort of Tyranidy armor.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
There you go. So yeah, that guy. So if you go to the previous one, the white one with the pink. So, yeah, that one. Okay, so that was, I think, his original concept that he sculpted up. And then if you go to his next photo in the series, he took that actual model and I think he started sculpting it in like ZBrush or something. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, close that one and then go to his more recent post where it's like a black and white of that soldier looking dude. Oh, this is lagging. Okay, now
It
I understand.
lags.
It
Yeah,
Got it.
lags like
Sorry, guys,
all
I'm a
kinds.
Luddite. Yeah, now we got it. So he did this 3D sculpt of it, and I don't know. I was just like saying how cool it was and how like I'd love to have something like that, just because I really love taking the Eldar aesthetic and making it more organic looking, more Tyranid, because I'm obsessed with Tyranids. Basically, I'm obsessed with Jess Goodwin. So if you take Tyranids and you put Eldar with them and you make like a Tyranid Eldar baby, it's like my love child that I would cherish. So I don't know. I was just really interested. And I don't know how it happened, but he was like, oh, if I ever print this, I'll send you one. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I don't know if it's that one, but he sent me a little dude, and it looks very much like the first one that he made. He said he was going to like drow it up a bit, so make it a little more Dark Eldar, because he knows I'm like a Dark Eldar dude. But yeah, it's beautiful, and I can't tell if it's printed or sculpted and converted. I think it's sculpted and converted.
Wow,
But,
that looks great. You could also, if you take like a picture of the model, you could just put it in the Hangouts chat, and Adam could probably display it that way too.
Okay, well, I'm like have shitty light, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I mean,
it's awesome.
Yeah, that is super cool.
So I don't really like. I don't know. I told him I was going to pay him for it, and he just kind of sent it to me. So I'm really touched that he shared it with me. But he did tell me in no certain terms that I have to friggin' paint this one because the last one he did for me, I'm so afraid of getting it wrong that I haven't actually painted it yet.
I understand.
He's like, dude's super talented. I don't want to screw it up.
He is.
He's so great at converting stuff, and then doing the actual digital sculpting is great. Like just all sorts of great
at painting too.
And I'm pretty sure he works in film or something. Like he does this as his job.
He's a graphic designer, from what I understand.
At least for a while, he was working at like various video game studios.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Like the 3D design, character models, and such. Which company's at now and such, I'm not sure, but
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can send this to Adam. Anyway, yeah. So that was that. There we go. We just revealed the secret Polysmith model.
That's great. Yeah. So when are you painting it?
I got to figure it out soon. I've got too many things going on right now. But
yeah, I hear that.
I need to get it in there because I've been really obsessed lately. I was actually telling, oh God, I never know how to pronounce it. Magos Buer?
Yeah.
Gelida, who you talked to last week.
Yeah.
We started chatting after your podcast because you guys have single-handedly been getting me into Ink 28.
Yeah.
And we're kind of talking about ideas. And one thing I'm really into right now is the idea of like tainted Wraithbone.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wraithbone that's kind of been, I don't know, infected by Slaanesh or something like that. And it's starting to kind of rot. So I wanted to paint this guy like that. Like a kind of a Wraithbone that's gone to seed, I guess.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. So I just need to do a test model first so I don't screw it up, and then I can go to town on it.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
So if you sent me an image, I haven't received it, but
I'm just sending them right now.
Oh shit, there it is. We got it.
Awesome.
There it is. Yeah, that's cool.
He's super cool. So yeah, I haven't actually been working on him, but that showed up lately, which I was really happy about. And then the thing I've mostly had to been work on is the dominatrix model that I'm doing for it's actually commission. Well, let's see if I can get you one more picture. So yeah, I've been working on the dominatrix, which is the big thing. It goes in spurts where I get super excited about it and I get some like exciting bit of it done, and then I have to go do boring stuff like sculpt armor plates forever. But yeah, the thing I should be working on is the Kroot army that I got to start on for Adepticon, because I joined there's this thing happening at Adepticon this year. It's a team of 4 players in the 40K team tournament, which I didn't know anything about until I joined on. But we're all going to be fielding Kroot armies.
Jesus, you're actually playing in the team tournament? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's like the big thing.
That clear.
That's like Adepticon's biggest thing.
It is?
I think so. That's like that's their famous tournament. Like the thing, their most renowned tournament, I believe.
Well, I better make sure I sign up because I didn't know there was competition.
Yeah,
well, start getting ready. Put your competition hat on and start.
Well, no, I'm gonna lose. I don't. I'm waiting for the models.
People play with the Kroot.
Well, a big element of it is like getting the awards for like best painted, best theme, like best total like team, regardless of how you're playing. So
that's what we want to go for.
Yeah, so that's the thing to focus on.
And that's what I do. And that's kind of like how I got into my first ever tournament. Just because my buddy was like, "Oh, you should go to this tournament." I'm like, "I don't play." He's like, "You can win prizes for cool models and themes." I'm like, "I can do cool models and themes."
Yeah.
It's like I've like literally never played.
No, literally.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
So I got dragged into this by I think it was Ironbeak Mercenaries on Instagram.
Okay.
Adam, I don't know if you can pull him up. He's Ironbeak_Mercenaries. He's been doing really cool kind of like crude AdMech conversions for a long time. And actually, while I was chilling with my buddy Hydra in France, these guys just posted, I think it was Ironbeak and maybe this other one called That Crude Guy, that they wanted to do this.
The Crute version is coming.
Yeah.
There it is.
So we're calling it Siege of Petch. Yeah, you got it. And it's either Crude Vasion or Siege of Petch. I think we're settling on Siege of Petch. And the idea behind it is that the Tyranids are invading Petch, and that all the different Crude cadres have been summoned back to their planet to defend it. So we're going to do our 4 armies. So it's Ironbeak Mercenaries, who already has his AdMech Crude force. That Crude guy, who has a lot of Crude as well. Myself, and Koska Maid. I'm not pronouncing that right. Who's primarily an AdMech player.
Yeah, okay.
Or converter dude. And I feel weird that, well, not weird. When I was doing Inner Circle 2 years ago, you guys know about this, probably no one else does. And I was doing this competition. It was across North America, and there was like different divisions. There was a bunch of divisions across the United States, and there was one division for all of Canada. The guy who I was worried about losing to was this Koska Maid guy, because I saw his table and I was like, oh my God, I can't beat this guy. Like, he's so fucking good. He's got all these cool conversions, all these cool like paint jobs. So I really thought he was going to kick my ass. So I wound up eking out a victory over him. And now I feel like it's fitting.
Because of your cult aid, man.
It was the cult aid, yes. So yeah, I think it's cool that now I'm like collaborating on a project.
Yeah, no, that's
I really
awesome.
respect his art.
Vox is here. Vox is on the chat. Hi, Vox. Tonight,
Hi, Vox.
We're talking with Nicholas, or Modern Synthesist, ideally soon, about the model reveal from Spiel.
Oh yeah, we got to get on this.
Yeah, so we were thinking about making it into an episode of the podcast, but I feel probably the most interesting thing has been this chatting with you, Nick, talking about all the stuff you're working on and stuff will probably be more interesting than that.
Dude, I have all these notes. I have all these things I want to say.
All right, so
I know you guys hate Spiel, but I love it.
All right, so it's going to be interesting. So maybe with that in mind, maybe we just go into the podcast portion.
Hold on. What is Greg doing?
I'm not doing shit, but I did recently at my local hobby store. There's now a little graphic novel shop.
Moomin!
And I found this book of the Moomin. I love the Moomin.
Very nice.
I was surprised and pleased to find that it's a tiny little, one of the rooms of the hobby shop now sells graphic novels, and the owner of the graphic novel shop, it's like all personally curated stuff. And I was delighted to see the Moomin.
Nice.
That particular volume has that hilarious picture of them in the boat with the crates, and it's like, careful, it might be whiskey.
Yeah, the store is called Barboco. It's in Pennsylvania. It's a nice shop.
Yeah, Barboco, after James and Kate Barbo, the owners.
Cool. I think we're seeing James right there with his Star Wars somethings.
Or no, it's not James. That's just someone who goes to the shop.
Oh, never mind.
But it was a reasonable guess.
Cool. Featuring some guy.
Yeah, featuring some guy.
Excellent.
Okay, Greg, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to get on Farboco's Instagram. Smiling with your Moomin book.
I think I'm on there. I'm probably a picture of me somewhere on there. Oh, there's the Easy Now. It might be whiskey.
There's Sassy Snuffkin and Papa Moomin.
This is crazy. I only know about Moomin because I lived in Japan and it's huge there. But
is it?
Is it Swedish or something, or like?
It's Finnish.
It's finished. Damn.
Yeah, or the author is Finnish, though one of the ones that speaks Swedish, which I
Mhm.
guess a lot of the Finnish population, or there's a small population of Finnish people that like primarily speak Swedish. If
Yeah,
my
my family is Estonian on one side, and we speak a lot of Swedish too.
okay,
Oh, that's cool.
but yeah, so the author of the Moomin, Tove, is Finnish.
I'm trying to find a picture of you in one of the pictures that Fargo showed.
I don't know if we're gonna do this.
No, I mean,
Oh, there he is. There he is on the right there, holding his hands up.
It wasn't me. Stop looking. I mean, I think there's at least one where you can see me in the background, and you can't tell that it's
Oh, there's
me.
a dog. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
There's a little beholder. Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right. Well, so for the sort of podcast portion, we're going to talk about Spiel. So if we just want to go into this, I can start saying my normal thing with episode 64 or whatever. Are people ready for that to happen?
I think we're ready.
Yeah.
Go.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dragged into Turbolasers, a Between the Bolter and Me podcast. This is episode 64, and tonight I'm joined by my two brothers, Adam Wire.
Hey, everybody.
Greg Wire.
Hey, everyone.
And I'm excited to say that we're also joined with a good friend, Nicholas, better known perhaps as Modern Synthesist, on kind of like based on his website. And actually, what's your Instagram account, Nick?
I think it's Modern.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Dave Wire.
Hey, Dave.
It's so good to see my brothers again. Sorry.
Yeah, so
okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Nick, otherwise known as Mr. Pink, otherwise known as Modern Synthesist. So that's probably where most people would know me if they know me at all. That's my Instagram.
Yeah, and Dave, he but yeah, Nick was on a while back, I think episode 23, back when we were talking about Dark Imperium and maybe Primaris Space Marines.
Yeah, we were talking about one of his favorite topics.
Space Marines.
He just loves Space Marines. What do you love so much about Space Marines? Maybe we should start there.
What I love so much about Space Marines is that every friggin' person has them, and that they will always have new models coming out, and that no one ever converts a Space Marine. It's like, I got a Space Marine. I'm going to paint the Space Marine, and it's a Space Marine.
It's true.
So
they're so great.
I love Chaos because people actually convert Chaos. Like, that's when Space Marines get interesting. I'm all about conversions. I'm all about like making your models your own, and like sure you can do that with a paint job, but I think you should also do that by messing around with the parts. So if you convert your Space Marines, I have a lot more respect.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying there. And
you might be able to argue, why would you convert them when all of their designs are so ingenious? You know?
The ingenious bolter design.
Well, the thing is that like with the Primaris Space Marines, Jess made it a little harder for me to hate Space Marines because I also didn't like how squatty they are, and they're a lot less squatty now. And you guys know that I secretly harbor a Space Marine project in the back of my mind that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, God, don't.
I feel a lot of the viewers here if they have Space Marines, they've probably converted them.
Yeah, it's probably true.
I think Ward Sylvania just commented on that.
Oh yeah,
you're the but this audience is the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, no, we're in the minority. Hellblasters are the epitome of model design.
Hey man, you guys still have my Hellblasters. What are we gonna do with those?
So I think there was talk about converting them into like Alpha Legion stuff.
Hellblaster, even the name is legendary.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Legendary.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I guess ultimately we wanted to have Nick on here to talk a little bit about some of the newer model reveals for, I guess, this past weekend. Yeah, it was this past weekend. Spiel
week.
just happened, and they released some models and such, or revealed pictures of them. And we thought it would be fun to talk about some of those things. And so it'll be interesting to have another person's opinion that may not be the same sort of negativity that may come out.
I'm a shit disturber.
Yeah.
So it'll be good in that regard. So
what do we want to talk about first?
I hate all the new models.
Surprise.
Job,
Greg just got his opinion out right quick. He said what he needed to say.
Well, I mean, I think it probably just makes perhaps the most sense. Let's just go through the kind of a real page and just talk about it.
So the first thing is Necromunda Dark Uprising. I love their names. They're so
I mean, admittedly, I feel the Necromunda releases are some of the more, in generally, the more enjoyable or exciting aspects of Games Workshop releases because it's not another Primaris Lieutenant.
It's very true.
So, like, even if you don't necessarily want to use it as what it is, like stock, I feel it's more likely to have opportunities for converting other things like Gene Stealer cultists or like Inquisitors
Space
or
Marines.
just kind of anything of that notion. I mean, and interestingly, you can't even convert most of these into Space Marines because they're too big for that.
Oh, yeah.
They are. The Enforcers are just as big as a Primaris Marine, so I guess you could argue maybe they could be Space Marine Scouts.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
so
like, their legs, right? It's their legs are the proper proportion. I think a lot of people have taken their legs and put them on Scions, and all of a sudden the Scion models work.
Yes, they look a lot better. They look like so much better. Like
it is true. Well, so what we'll give you the first real word about some of these models here. Which would you like to talk about first? Nick, the Enforcers or the Chaos, whatever?
Well, I'm already sold on the Enforcers. Like, I was interested in getting Enforcers before this came out, or before this news broke, and I just never got around to buying a box of Enforcers. But now I'm happy to see that the Enforcer box is part of this box with the cool new ones with the shields.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely into that, and I wanted to convert them to be something Gene Stealer culty. Like I feel like I've tried to do with all the Necromunda games. In general, I just wanted to comment on how, like you mentioned, that Necromunda is a pretty good system for releases that are really useful for converting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't get enough credit. Maybe it does get enough credit and I'm just missing it. But it's really a gold mine for anything human related. Like, think Inc. 28, like everything released in Necromunda is a human. They all have different kind of like weapons and different kinds of armor, different kinds of clothing. So it's just like a huge bits box for converting anything.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think particularly if we're thinking about like the Gene Stealer cult, like the model in general, the Gene Stealer cult models are really good, but in some sense it can be maybe a little bit like if you always see the same Gene Stealer cult models, it can be maybe a little boring because it's just like, is seriously every single Gene Stealer cultist in the entire galaxy and every hive world like a miner?
No.
And and with Necromunda, it's all these different hive sort of components.
I mean, they're also interesting in the fact that probably for better in general, like all the different Necromunda gangs and stuff, they actually vary quite a lot in their like size and stature. So depending on what you really want from like your conversions and stuff, there could be something there that you can work with. Like I feel most of the Necromunda stuff kind of just dials up the scale. Like they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But even on top of that, even though they're getting bigger, some of the proportions and stuff of the models are actually pretty good, and you could use them in all manner of different conversions and such. So, in particular with these enforcers, um, they like fit in really well with tons of different Ink 28 conversions. They, as was mentioned earlier, um, they really improve like some of the older Imperial Guard ranges, like the Scions and such. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Sorry
like I
about
feel these.
that.
Hey, Nick, you didn't miss a whole lot, I don't think.
Did I mention I'm a Luddite?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, well, yeah, so we were just kind of talking more about kind of some of what you had mentioned about sort of them being a good opportunity to just convert anything that's vaguely humanoid. And it's really nice, I think, for the Gene Stealer cultists, just because like this is all these different models are different aspects sort of society in a hive
Yeah.
world, namely Necromunda.
Yeah.
And all of those could be corrupted by the Gene Stealer cult. So like there's so much opportunity to take them and convert them a little bit to fit that. And like I think that's really
Well, I
neat.
mean, so as a matter of fact, I've actually been considering for a little while now of actually converting a Gene Stealer cultist model from one of the enforcers. Yeah.
Yeah, like it would be like a heavily armored dude. Because I try and do that within my cult, that I try to show different strata of the cult. So I've got like the kind of rough, like street cultist dudes who have like rags and all that stuff, and then I have the guys who are like kind of in the inner circle and the guys with robes. But these guys would be good for just like heavily armored shock troops, because why wouldn't the cult have those as well?
No, yes, certainly. And I mean, in general, like I feel when people first saw the enforcer models were being made, everyone was excited for the prospect of having like, riot shields, that sort of thing. And they didn't give you them. And so it's nice to see that they didn't kind of leave us out hanging there and actually made them.
Well, so I just brought up a picture. So one of our viewers here, Ward Sylvania, he's done a really good job of taking some of these new enforcer models and combining them with the older Scion models, and like they just looks. I have one of the models up on screen now. They're just
if you're watching the stream.
Yeah, they just look so much better.
In that picture, Ward, like I see the legs. Is everything above that Scion, or is
the Scion? The body is
bits
certainly a Scion body. The arms are. I think they were sort of heavily modified such that he's actually shouldering the rifle, which they can't really do. But he has a normal body. We can probably look at some of the other angles and stuff.
So this is it was an observation that was made about Warcry, but it applies to Necromunda as well. That I remember when I was speaking to Hydra about this, and he doesn't really pay that much attention to the Games Workshop stuff, but he saw all these pictures of the Warcry stuff cropping up. He said, "You know what? That's really cool, because that's the only. It's one of the few expressions we get of what like average people look like."
Oh,
in the fantasy world. Like, sure, they're chaos people, but it's
the but different they're not like the mega corn blood crushers or whatever the hell, or they're just people who have like been slightly tainted by whatever realm they're in, but they're still like they haven't devoted themselves to a particular god. They're still just trying to survive and be human.
And I feel like that's also what Necromunda does, that it shows us a greater depth to the like Imperial human society beyond Space Marines and Imperial Guard.
It shows
even within Imperial Guard, you had the different factions back in the day, like all the Peter models, like the Valhallans and the Tal'Aran and all that. But beyond them, there was no like average rank and file Imperial citizen. But you can convert a lot more of those out of Necromunda stuff.
I mean,
Yeah,
it shows us what the Goliath would look like if they started worshiping corn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
Should we go to those guys?
Or I'll say one thing about the new Enforcer dudes. Like, boy, is that a thigh gap they have, particularly on the
Yeah.
ones with the shields, because now they have this bigger armored loincloth thing, and that,
Yeah.
to me, it looks like they have.
Yeah, I mean they're not perfect, but they're still pretty good. Like they're not squatting nearly as badly as some other GW releases.
Can we talk about why Games Workshop is so afraid of groins?
We've
We
talked about
can.
it a
Do you
bunch,
have
but
a-
what are your thoughts on it?
I don't know if we have enough time, but I assume it's like lazy sculpting, or it just like whenever they get a groin on a model, it looks awkward, or someone's like, it looks like that guy's got a bulge, but it just doesn't make any sense. Just always with the armor or the loincloth or the something in front of the groin. Like even the Primaris, what are they? The pseudo terminators?
Yeah, the aggressors.
Aggressors, like, don't they have some kind of weird armor in front of their
Yes,
groin?
the
or something?
aggressors
To me,
and the
I
eliminators. Yeah.
always thought that it wasn't that they were necessarily afraid of that. It's just that they want to cram as much detail in as possible, and it's like that would be really cool if we put even more shit there. Because like so many of the
Okay.
models have these stupid relics and shit hanging right there, and it's like, was that
Well,
were they just trying to?
Good.
Was it supposed to be?
Eli
a
says
joke?
they hate butts equally. I think he's
Yeah.
right.
Well, and I feel it's almost like they built the whole model around that particular piece, such that like, oh, well, the legs don't fit very well because of that. Ah, it's fine. It's an important element. We can make it work.
So should we talk about the Chaos dudes?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about them.
So Meandering Shade is saying, I guess they're called corpse grinders, seem awfully overt in their appearance to be able to function within sight of authorities, Imperium, and too derivative of the Age of Sigmar Bloodbound. Yeah, I get that they look kind of chaosy. I wouldn't call them derivative of the Bloodbound. Like, yeah, the axes definitely bring me over to those guys, but they don't feel as crazy over the top as the Bloodbound. Like,
No, in terms of like their muscles and stuff, they look for a little more believable, and their posing isn't nearly as like ham-fisted and like.
There aren't skulls everywhere. I mean, admittedly, they have the skull mask-ish stuff.
but even
But-
that is kind of interesting. Like,
Yeah,
put that on a
I mean,
Chaos
at least
Space
it's
Marine,
an
it'd be amazing.
interesting looking mask. Yeah.
Well, I almost
And-
think that these like chain axes, while they're huge, I feel they would
Yeah.
actually work okay on like Chaos Space Marines, like Khorne Berserkers and stuff. Like,
And one thing, well,
I just say, like, take the chain axes away, take the head away, and you've got a really wicked base model that has no chaos on it. Like, it's got that cool kind of carapace armor thing that like comes up their back over the back
it's
of their head.
it's a new Goliath model you now have to do stuff.
Yeah,
with.
and I feel also, I mean, they look with the helmets and stuff and weapons, they look sort of chaotic, but not like wildly. But then, I mean, I
Yeah.
think the whole set's coming with all this like sort of underground terrain like stuff. So maybe the narrative is supposed to be something that it's like deep within the bowels of such and such hive or whatever. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter as much.
Adam, are you able to zoom in on that or no?
I'm trying to zoom
little,
in on it,
with all
but,
the-
like, is there? Maybe if I open it somewhere else, because like,
Because
no, I mean a little. It's not good.
just because I really like the guys, the bigger guys. I think the little guys look horrible, and their poses are just
The little
atrocious.
guys look terrible. They're like, they're literally like two poses for them. Yeah, and like one of them, he's shooting his pistol up in the air. I feel that
They look really caricatured.
Yeah, like their muscles and stuff look really whack.
Gigantic head, really fat, thick legs. big.
So not that I want to
pectoral
bash
muscles.
them. I'm just saying that I love the other guys. I want them like all day, every day of the week. But the little guys, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with them because they
Yeah, the
need
little
to be
guys look.
corrected somehow.
Yeah, but the bigger ones do look like a nice counterpart to the Goliaths, and like you could easily use them or use them for something else. And they have the weird masks, but like they actually look kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I
They're
feel
not
these
just the
people are
standard
going to
fare.
be taking these and putting them on Chaos Space Marines and stuff.
For some reason, the little dudes remind me of the one Clive Barker video game, Jericho, that no one played or liked. For some reason, I am reminded of that.
They do kind of look like Vox. Vox says they look like bobblehead babies.
Yeah.
I see
Oh yeah,
that.
the little dudes.
The little dudes.
And Ward is saying that they look like corrupted Goliaths, but he's not that excited about the corpse grinder gang. It's okay, Ward. You just send me your corpse grinders, and I'll take good care of them. But I still don't. Yeah, and a good point. Ward also says that it's cool that they're actually including Jews, which is a concept
is
from like
true.
old school necromancy.
Is that what we think
You have
those
like
are? Do they
sorry,
say that?
yeah. Well, I think so. They look like Jews, which is like a
I think
weaker
they are.
version.
Well, because they
of the
added the
Undead.
rules for Jews in like the first expansion for Necromunda, but then never made it obvious that there were models for them. Or at least I think they did.
Let's take a moment to notice that both Vox and Meandering Shade remembered Jericho as a game.
Yeah,
That's
that's
something
something. That's something.
So does this game also come with the nice terrain they showed a picture of?
It looks like it.
The Zone
Mortalis
certainly... stuff.
Yeah,
that looks good.
Like I feel that I think to me is exciting and would be a reason why I would more be inclined to buy this, because I think the gangs would have some use as well, like we've been talking about. But like the terrain, I think is cool, and it really fits with the idea of playing Inc. 28 sort of games. So like that's awesome.
So of my 2 pages of notes, a full 1 page of them is just about scenery, I think.
All right.
So this scenery was developed by, you guys probably saw it on Twitter. I don't think he's on Instagram. It was developed by someone named Owen Patton. So it's at Owen, OWEN _ PATTEN. I don't know if you can pull up his Twitter there, Adam. So I found out about Owen Patton because, of course, the actually legendary Ray Dranfield, who did all of the Sector Mechanicum stuff and has been blowing my mind with making terrain.
How do you spell his name?
I think it's not on Instagram, Adam.
Yeah, it's on Twitter.
Oh, on Twitter. God damn.
Well, there's an Owen Patton.
Is that? Oh no, I thought that was a CN Tower in the background. I'm like, it's in Toronto. So Owen Patton developed the stuff, and then he was linked to by Ray Dranfield. And Ray Dranfield, if you don't know who he is, you should be following him absolutely on Twitter. And I think he also has an Instagram now. He developed pretty much all of the 40K scenery, and he made it all so that it interfaces with each other. Yeah, that's the guy. That's Owen Patton.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think that I can't remember. I think it was. I thought I made a note of this. Somebody on Twitter, I think it was. Do you guys know that guy who he does all the rumor engine stuff?
On Twitter?
Thing? Yeah, Warboss Gruken or something.
I think, but I admit I don't spend that much time on Twitter anymore.
Anyway, he went in there and he looked at that picture of the Zone Mortalis scenery, and there's a point in it where you can see a one of the pipes. Can you get that big? You can see one of the Promethean pipes or whatever, and it's stacked up beside one of the double bunkers. It's kind of right in the middle there.
Yeah.
He realized that if you check the height of that Promethean pipe against the stanchions that you get in like Shadow War for the Zone Mortalis, for the Mechanicum stuff, those 2 of those little bunker things are the exact right height to be the same height as one of those stanchions. So that means that this stuff is going to interface with all the stuff you already have.
That's
which is
great.
amazing.
Yeah, because I actually have that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, we have the rule book, the Shadow War Armageddon rule book from you.
Oh yeah, man, Shadow War was good times. I got to get a Necromunda. I'm gonna buy this box. There's no question, and I'm gonna finally get my ass into Necromunda.
Yeah, I feel we'll probably get it.
But yeah, like so. What was I saying? I was saying I don't know if it interfaces. So I don't know if this stuff interfaces exactly. Like with Ray Dranfield, he would do the Mechanicum stuff, and like 6 months later, he would release a different scenery kit, and the pipes from one would connect into the receptacles on the other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see those receptacles here, but this stuff looks like it'll probably play nice with the other stuff.
Yeah, I feel it does look that way. And like some of the little staircases they have look pretty nice, like and actually usable in like game purposes, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, and I was going to say that even if they don't connect this stuff all up, I'm sure that the Kit Basher on Instagram will find a way for this stuff to all fit
Yeah,
together.
I don't think it will be that.
Do you guys know this guy? The _ Kit _ Basher on Insta?
I don't think so.
Instagram, you say?
Yeah, Instagram. Can you pull it up there, Adam? So it's. I should just put it in the chat. Why am I not doing that?
The underscore
Kit _ Basher. So what he does is he was featured by Ray Dranfield, the creator of the scenery, because he would the Kit Basher would go in and he'd kind of find ways for. I'm in trouble. Like for example, when they released the kit with the drill for the gene sealers, the Kit Basher went in there and he actually filed down the gears so that the gears would turn on the track, and you could raise like a gate up and down. Yeah, this is the guy.
That's awesome.
So he does a lot of really cool stuff. He does some Dark Eldar, but if you go back, all of his stuff is like taking Sector Mechanicus and other stuff like that and just making things interface in ways that you wouldn't expect. Like he made the cogs actually work on the gate and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So he's super talented. And just like weird hacks, like take this piece, cut it here. He does very simple tutorials as well in his Instagram.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So if we can't figure out how to make the Zone Mortalis interface with the existing scenery, I'm sure he'll find a way to do it.
He will do it. That's cool.
So when I was obsessing over the Zone Mortalis scenery, I think I counted that there were at least 10 of those turrets pictured, like square kind of squat buildings. There's a number of different connecting walls and like gates and stuff like that. Both thick and thin. Bulkheads, like you guys said, there's those really good stairs that are new. The flooring also looks different. It looks new, like it's not just repurposed Mechanicum flooring or anything.
Yeah.
I really like the railings. I think they're kind of an improvement on the railings that we had.
They do look nice. So it'll be nice to see more pictures of the stuff, and they'll probably have some other pictures of the stuff interfacing with some of the other terrain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good.
It's also, I remember when Shadow War came out, that was a unique case because Games Workshop didn't think Shadow War was going to be as successful as it was. And then it completely sold out because everyone wanted the terrain. Yeah. And I'm wondering if, like Shadow War, this might be the best way to get that terrain for cheap on mounts.
I suspect it will be, almost certainly.
But I'm expecting it'll probably be like Phoenix Rising price tag. Like in Canada, it's like $280, $300, which seems a lot more than the box games normally are.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, I think it's still exciting. Like I feel it's always good to see new Necromunda stuff because, as you pointed out, Nicholas, that it's a good way for them to explore more interesting elements of the 40K, at least human lore, that isn't just like Space Marines.
Phoenix Rising with a friend from work. I went in halfway to help a friend fund it and told him that he needs to keep all the models. But
That's the way to do it.
yeah, but maybe I'll play the campaign stuff in there and see what's happening with the Eldar.
Yeah.
I actually bought that book. That's the first book I've bought in a while.
Have you had time to read any of it?
I have. I've read the fluff.
Does it seem okay?
Yeah. So it's continuing on what happened in what was the one where Yunari came from?
Yeah.
Those were pretty bad.
Well, it was the whole thing with like they sundered the craft world Biel-Tan, and then they kind of like went on from there. But this is, oh god, I can't remember. It's kind of like their next step in trying to defeat Slanesh. And there's like some hints that they might be like using homunculuses to help them with it, which I'm all about. So, but I just wanted it for more of the Yunari kind of fluff because, like,
also I guess when the Age of Sigmar, Ossiarch Bone, whatever has come out, we will have to make some Dark Eldar / Eldar conversions.
Adam, they're coming out this week.
Yeah.
What?
Pre-order this week.
Well, maybe this week they're releasing that box game with the ogres that we don't want, but then
so we've talked a lot about the Necromunda stuff. Overall, it looks good. Let's move on.
That. Let's like plow through this. Like there's a new Blood Bowl team. We don't care about it. They don't look particularly great. They look.
Wait! I want to talk about those.
Yeah. What do we have to say about the Blood Bowl team?
The Noblars are back.
Noblars are back.
Just as we talked about with Necromunda being an excellent source for humans, Blood Bowl is an amazing source for dynamic models for every like faction in fantasy.
Even
and 40k too. Like the Wood Elves, the Wood Elf Blood Bowl team is like incredible.
Yeah, or the Dark Elf Blood Bowl team. But look at these.
Great. They're all
like
good.
Pull up one of those ogres. Think about the ogres we've been using for like 1,000. Not me. I haven't touched them because they're hideous. But think about the ogres that have been out for like decades, and they're very staid. They've got those big gut plates in the way. But these guys, they have like really interesting poses on them. Like imagine the things that people are going to do with this, not just for ogre
that's true.
armies, but for huge ab humans. Like these models are amazing.
They're better looking ab humans than the Ogren models.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the Necromunda.
Yeah.
But like
the faces Necromunda. That they need some. That head is not great, but
yeah, all the specialists, practically like all the specialist models, I feel like they're really good releases. Even if you don't necessarily want to use them.
Noblar models, they'd be great for little like mutant people and stuff. Just like all the like Hobbit, like Goblin releases, they've been used for years to make weird mutants and stuff. Like these would work great for that as well. And the funny thing is, these like goblins have these tiny little hands. I bet those hands would work well for like human conversions that aren't fucking massive.
I love the one falling down.
Well, I mean, like GW makes hands and feet massive.
Yeah,
I'd have to actually see these models.
We'll have to see for sure. You can never quite tell.
But
like Games Workshop's been better. Like the hands of their models aren't nearly as big as they used to be, so that's like really good. The feet, however, they haven't reached that yet. They're still huge.
With you mentioned that Specialist Games is pretty good at like posing and like coming up with these dynamic models. I was also wanted to note how much character is in the Blood Bowl models.
Mm-hmm.
Like those Hobbit models that they released, like those things were way prettier than they had any right to be, and they had way more character and like, interesting faces. Like those faces were completely different from everything else. And I've seen them used in human models to very good effect.
Yeah, no, they're good.
And just like I think we're you guys like to shit on models and talk about the problems with them, but I honestly believe that we're living in like a golden age of 40K, especially with all the specialist releases right now. Because, like you said, they explore these whole different dimensions of these worlds that would never get addressed with mainline
I mean, yeah,
40K
there's no
99.
question in terms of like the hobby, like we are in a much better place than ever before.
Well, then even with
Because
stuff like Blackstone Fortress, that kind of adds to it as well.
I mean, Games Workshop is now releasing so many models from so many different ranges, and a lot of them, even though they're not really very good at keeping their scaling consistent, in many regards, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're willing to look enough and experiment enough, like, you'll be able to find something to fit, like, a lot of what your needs might be.
Yeah.
And hell, they're even now releasing female models. Crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that would happen?
So yeah, overall it's been really good. And as much as we like to make fun of various things in the models, things have really
Well,
improved over the
I mean,
years.
to be honest, like the last few, I think of these major reveals at like Nova and things like that, all of them struck me as like, I don't much care. And I think this Spiel was the one I was most interested in, primarily because it didn't have anything for 40K. It didn't have the generic like next 40K thing, revamp of some Space Marine character or something, which are fine. They're not bad per se, but it's just like it doesn't excite me for the next conversion or something to do. Whereas at least this, it like gets me excited about like, oh, more terrain that will fit with the kind of gaming I like to do, more models that have the potential for conversion. So I think this has been exciting.
What wasn't exciting is they showed some new Warcry models from one of the other war bands, and like, oh boy, I see why they didn't show these first. Though even saying that, there are still aspects of them that you could use to do things and make conversions, but
they do seem like maybe the most generic of the Warcry warbands.
Oh yeah. By like a long shot. Like, look at that fucking dwarf. That dwarf looks awful.
Yeah.
But all 40 or Games Workshop dwarves look kind of bad.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Or they're not like, it's not achondroplasia. Like these are different dwarves.
Yeah. The cool thing about Warcry, I feel like even this band I'm not crazy about, but their weapons are always really interesting to me. Like the other Warcry gangs seem to have really cool weapons.
Yeah, I mean, so this warband is very much, let's go back to the classic Chaos Marauders and stuff, and let's rework them a little and make a warband. So, and they did it, and they're about.
Bach mentions that they're not all squatting, which I mean is true.
Like very few of them are. So like, well, I guess that's not entirely true. Like here, this one in the center with this big double-handed axe, like he's pretty bad. But the Beastman, I like the Beastman. He looks
the Beastman's
like,
really cool.
His like Morning Star type mace, like that looks good. That's cool.
Yeah, and his pose, I like his pose too. His helmet is really funky.
Helmet's cool.
Chain holding arm looks like the arm was broke at the elbow and angled in towards his body in a way that I don't know that could happen.
That's true.
But the Beastman's my favorite, and I wish that
the other two in that picture are horrible. They just need to go away.
Yeah. Also, I mean, these models really show like the hands, the size of the hands are pretty good, but look like holy shit, their feet are big.
I like the.
I mean, it almost looks like the dude on the left with the chain and the sword. It almost looks like they went and took the feet from like the plastic Chaos Warriors from years ago and just glued them on the bot. Like even the knees, they're like the same thing.
They just.
I think everything about that guy looks like classic Chaos, like his pose,
the chain
face.
There isn't fucking huge though. That
looks good. Yeah.
I think
I like him.
The other models on the other picture, I think by and large they're pretty good. Maybe not super inspired, but the proportions look pretty good. I think it's interesting that the clothing type that they have on them, like they have a male version and a female version with basically the exact same clothing. Like there's the one with the armored chest plate and the boots, and they have a male and a female version of that. There's one with bare feet.
Well, I feel almost what I'm most interested in, this one female one, she actually has those boots. I bet those boots and like the feet size, they're really small. I bet they would actually work well on like a lot of 40K conversions and stuff because they're not like so massive. Like I think they would actually work pretty well in other conversions and stuff.
I kind of think these models look sort of like the Dakoth cheat. Or I don't know what that agency thing is. Dark Oath.
I thought it was Dakroth too, but it's Dark Oath.
Is it just Dark Oath? Well,
I think
I'm
so.
an idiot.
Cool sounding words together.
No, I felt the same way, man. I was like, oh yeah, Darkroth. It's like, no, it says
It's
Dark
just-
Oath. Like,
Dark. Yeah, I guess how that makes more sense that it was just the combination of two other cool sounding words.
hey, just like Dark Uprising, what was the other Dark earlier in the
Dark Imperium.
Dark Uprising. Dark Imperium.
Yeah, well, so they look like the Dark Oath models, but better.
Like their
I think-
poses are a lot better.
Than like that Underworld's Dark Oath warband was like really awkward. So these are better than that. So I mean, ultimately, I think these are pretty nice, kind of generic looking Chaos Marauders. And if that's something you want,
certainly an
good.
improvement of the over some of the older Marauders, and it is nice to
the
see.
classic ones.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Some of them,
And like it's neat that one of them's a beastman, there's a dwarf. Like I think that variation.
The dwarf is the worst looking of the models, I think.
Yeah,
his helmet's not even cool.
He's running the Warp Tour.
Yeah, he's
isn't
running
that the helmet from what's his face with the two axes?
I don't know, but I mean, he has like tusk like teeth or something.
Yeah,
he's bad. He looks really bad.
All right, we talked enough about these.
Okay, chibi figures next.
Well, so
and we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
painted really
quickly touch on the chibi figures.
I like the little Advent guy.
They're not painted well.
I like the Eversor because I always love everything Eversor.
Yeah.
I like that we'll be able to buy these and give them away on our stream. That's what I like.
That probably will happen.
The Advent one's the best, I think.
Do you think they're like pre-painted, or do you think they come unpainted?
I think they're pre-painted.
I assumed they were pre-painted, but
yeah, I think so.
I assume they are. I assume they're pre-painted.
So I kind of like them.
It's funny they're being made.
Wait, this is the first series. If you're
oh no,
cool!
I can't wait for a chibi Tyranid warrior.
That's
that would be great. It would be great. I would like to see that.
It does kind of look like the Marines standing on a single foot.
Yeah, the funny thing is, they're like this Marine. It doesn't look quite like he's squatting as much, so it's like they did a better job.
Fox said that he won't accept the chibi. Well, we're gonna send them to you,
whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
we're gonna send them.
And then you can be challenged to like convert it into some really badass thing that isn't chibi at all.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so the end of this reveal is sort of weird. It's just like, and the Dice Tower gave us a good review.
Which, I mean, admittedly, it's because other Shadespire game is a good game.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, admittedly, it fits with the fact that Spiel is like a board.
It's about games. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even consider that.
It does fit, but it is interesting. Do you think it was Tom Vassell liked it? Did he do the review, do you think?
Sam Healy, probably.
That's true. That's true. But isn't
Spiel is more about board games?
It is a board game. It's the big board game convention in the world.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like board gaming and wargaming, but it's mostly board gaming.
It's the board game convention of the world. Like there's the
Mhm.
Spiel des Jahres, like the most prestigious board game award.
Mhm.
Won by Settlers of Catan.
Yeah. Settlers of Catan won it a long while ago. And lots of other things, like other classics, like
Camel upon camel.
Camel Upon Camel is what I was going to say. Games that really withstood the test of time, and everybody's playing them. Camel on
When they
Camel.
maybe got it, probably.
No, I don't think it was beat out, but Azul won it last year. That's a pretty good game. I recently played it. But yeah, the Spiel and the Spiel des Jahres, big thing. Big.
Obviously, Red Fane didn't win Spiel des Jahres.
But it's
good though.
a good game.
I mean,
I know.
Played
So-
Red Fane specifically, but
I've never played Underworld Shadespire. Clearly, I should try
Good.
this.
It is.
I like
It's good. It's so much more compelling than like most of their other games, and like
it's
different.
like beer and pretzels thing. There's I feel, or to me, it seems like more strategy and such, and it's like relatively quick, and
The
you
different
have
war bands actually really feel different.
and you can sort of tailor them to the play style you like based on how you modify like the objective deck and the kind of the combat card deck.
Okay.
So it's a nice balance of some deck building, sort of like Magic the Gathering like elements, as well as some miniature game elements.
Okay.
So like it's good. And I think Dread Fane may be at like various places, like at Barnes and Noble, maybe those sorts of places, at least in the United States.
Mhm.
And it has like smaller war bands, such that it's, I guess, even quicker than. I mean, admittedly, the normal Underworlds is a relatively quick game.
Wait, on top of that, Dice Tower selected Dread Fane for a spot in their top 3 games at Spiel. Whoa. Also,
I'll have to go look for it at Canadian Tire,
yeah.
which is our equivalent of Barnes and Noble.
Is it? Okay. Well, let's
You can get your tires, you can get your books, you can get your lawn furniture,
get it all.
get it all. One last thing we need to review. Adam, can you go back to the front page of Warhammer Community? Scroll right up to the top. Like the main page, not the article.
Oh, wait, of the article?
No.
Just like home. Look at that.
Oh.
Blood and Gory. Preview income. Glory. Preview incoming.
Oh, sorry.
Does anyone else feel like they're previewing shit every like 2 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, wait, the Blood and Glory previews incoming. Check back
Yeah.
Saturday for news and reveals. They so much shit.
What do you think they're gonna reveal? What's your prediction?
Final sister stuff?
That seems reasonable because I mean, it's gonna be November on Saturday, so like the year's
But
to an end. They need to be released.
they also told us the Bone Reapers are coming in October. And the pre-order came like the last weekend of October. So
Yeah.
so expect sisters on December 1st.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Wasn't this the whole controversy with Orktober? It's like Orktober! Everyone's like, oh my god, so many orcs. They're like, October 31st, here you go, orcs.
Yeah.
There was basically nothing except for just those vehicles that had been revealed
Yeah.
like months before.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Well, actually, so the Sisters of Battle Box will almost certainly be released on Black Friday. So,
Yeah.
like, basically December.
Yeah.
And
But
then-
that cherub post that they put up, there you go.
Yeah.
If you scroll down to the bottom cherub, he's like perched on some crazy chest looking thing that looks like a piece of a larger model that maybe they're going to reveal as like, here's the final
Mhm.
cool new sister things.
Well, yeah, it's like it almost looks like it's a little shrine of sorts with a little locked chest.
Yeah.
Which
Like,
looks
is that
cool.
on top of a vehicle? Is that part of a character?
It's hard to know. We'll see
It is hard to know.
in all good time.
Maybe this Saturday.
Maybe.
So Ward is guessing that we're going to have Necromunda on the 16th. I'm guessing that's December. Bone Reapers next 2 weeks. Didn't they say they were releasing all the Bone Reapers at the same time? Weren't they like, oh my god, the whole release all at once?
Oh yeah, that's going up in pre-order this Saturday.
I don't. And Meandering Shade is saying maybe they'll reveal another single box release like Space Hulk Warhammer Quest before Christmas. I'd be shocked if they did that, unless it's the Necromunda one, because that seems like too little time to like introduce.
Well, because I feel last year Blackstone Fortress was their big Black Friday release, so my guess is that'll just be the sisters, and there won't be another.
You just said here's the release schedule for the next 2 months. Jesus,
how'd you? Oh damn. Can we pull that up? Is this on fucking Spiky Bits or some shit? Please not go to Spiky Bits. Ex Profundus gives them enough business.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Wow. I mean, the stuff so we have a general sense of most of the stuff that's going to be coming out the rest of the year.
November 16th for Necromunda is earlier than I thought. That's good news.
Yeah, that is pretty early.
It means I won't be buying any Bone Reapers. I'll just be saving my money for Necromunda.
But the Bone Reapers, you can use them to make Eldar.
Or Tyranids. Take your pick.
Tyranids, yeah, it's true.
Tyranid Eldar.
Whatever you
really
want
to mess with.
All right, hey, let's wrap this podcast up. I think we've been talking for a while. We got to the end of what I think we needed to talk about.
Yeah, I think we have.
We all need to go to bed.
Yeah, ultimately, I think a relatively exciting reveal, or at least for the potential that it opens up for people who are, excited about conversions and that sort of thing.
And you guys didn't think there was anything to talk about.
It's true. It's true. We were wrong.
Can we pull up this release schedule, or is it too late?
We can always ramble at length.
So can someone send it me? Like, I don't actually have Twitch up, so like I can't actually.
Neither do I.
I can't interact with the chat. Like my setup here, despite me being the one who hosts the streams and stuff, is pretty bad.
Hey, let's end the podcast part, and we can still keep talking a little bit.
Okay.
That seems reasonable.
So thanks
for having me, guys.
Yeah, glad to have you again. It's been a while since you've been on here.
Yeah.
Well, the next time there's another Space Marine release, we'll have to have you on.
You jerks. You dicks.
So I know
it would also be It would also be kind of fun if we could have you on more towards the end of the year, or it would be great to have a few guests or something and just talk about our thoughts of the year as a whole, what models were released, what were our favorites, that sort of thing.
It's a good idea.
Because we'll have posts kind of about that stuff, but I feel it would be neat to talk with other people such that it's not us just screaming into a void.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay, I missed it. Slambo, Eli, 1,000 years ago in the chat. That's the helmet that the Chaos Dwarf is wearing. Slambo's helmet.
Yeah, that's true.
Or I think it's the original Slambo's helmet or something.
I have Slambo. I have him right here.
Love you, Slambo.
It is actually kind of similar. Let me actually.
Nice.
Yeah, good old
Sorry, I distracted from ending the podcast.
All right. Yeah. Well, again, thanks for joining us, Nick. It was really nice to hear kind of your input and maybe have someone to reduce our general negativity about.
We'll just encourage you to take a second look at things that you'd already dismissed.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's good. It's good.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, guys. It's been really great.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, but thanks everybody for tuning in to the stream and anyone listening on the podcast. And if you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to contact us through our email, Instagram, that sort of thing. But yeah, I guess until next time, thanks everybody.
All right, so the podcast thing's done. I guess if people, the regulars in this chat, like if any of you would be interested in getting in on our hobby year-end talkathon that we just mentioned, like we'd be glad to have you on beyond just typing in. Like we could probably get you on Hangouts and we could all have a merry talkathon.
That'd be cool.
Damn, yeah, look, here is that release schedule.
Yeah, it could
Holy
be.
shit. Look at
So
that.
is it real? Oh, Mini Wars is sometimes good. They're like Spanish or something. Oh god, I can't see that. Hold on, let me try to make this big.
It's probably real.
Crap. No.
Yeah, it's probably real.
Necromancer
There's so many releases in
graffiti
there.
sheet? That could be cool.
What's in there? What?
I'm
Barely-
most interested in this spray stick that I'm reading about.
Oh, the stupid holding thing for when you're priming your models.
And there's
Calexis Assassin 2, Demon
What?
Host 1 and 2.
That assassin, that old assassin was real
Ripper
shit.
Starl
Wait.
bag.
Did they ever release those individually, or were they only in that 4 assassin box?
They released
them individually.
Oh, this is Inquisitor stuff, isn't it?
Some
'Cause
of
it's-
them. Could
Inquisition. Isn't that the end of the White Dwarf? They're like, next time in White Dwarf, Inquisition.
Oh, that'd be fucking bullshit. It'll be like, oh, here's like some badly designed rules to hold you over.
No. But what if they release new models?
I
What if these are new models?
guess it could be. It could be. That would be the ideal thing. It certainly would.
Because didn't they already do a re-release of Inquisitor stuff? Why would they do it again? Wait, where's the Tyranids in there? Stop. Tyranid Termagant Brood. Go down. Please give me new Termagants.
They will not.
You should just give me the
It's a
link.
repackage. Tyranids Hot
Oh, you're
Tyrant
right.
repackage.
Oh shit.
That's not fun.
Vox, was this actually your first year back in the hobby? For a while. That's cool. Getting back.
Why are they
there's
repacking a Hive Tyrant?
Hard
Eyes
to
and
know.
Dark Ice. That's Lord of the Rings stuff. Love that Lord of the Rings stuff. Keeping that going. Keeping it going.
Yeah, so many exciting things. Oh my god, a Blood Angels Battle Force.
Ward Sylvania says he suspects the Psychic Awakening books has like Inquisition stuff in it, and that actually would make sense.
Oh yeah. Because
That
it's got the
makes a
eye
lot of
with the
sense.
eyeball, right? The Inquisitor
Yeah.
symbol.
That makes a lot of sense. Hopefully they are actually new models and not just like, we're putting out the Finecast models again.
That
No, I
would
don't
be
know.
Inquisitor Kirinov, you loved him, right, guys? He's still in Finecast. The legendary resin.
I love
Yeah, so hopefully it's not
Finecast.
that.
I loved it. I hate it.
Well, I don't remember the Finecast release schedule, but the Vox, does that mean if you had a 7-year hiatus, you never experienced Finecast?
Oh
Lucky
shit.
Yeah, I don't
man.
remember how long
No,
it
I think it was around 7 years ago. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I lose track of time.
Some nice pictures of the Necromunda thing.
Yeah.
Finecast out. That's a good reason to leave.
Oh damn, those are nice pictures.
Yeah, like I should have been looking here.
Oh,
Still baby volatile heads.
skillet boy.
So
Holy
good.
shit. Look at their skull heads. They're crazy.
Boy.
The skull heads are actually kind of neat.
And the hands that are holding the axes actually look like they're
Pretty
kind of they're not just a fist with an axe shoved in them. Like
Yeah,
they actually have
that's
some
real.
articulation in the fingers.
Yeah, they've started to get a lot better at that. Like, I'm impressed. That artwork's not good, but
Why does he have a diaper over his face?
Because
He doesn't want to see.
Cool.
The talcum powder and it keeps water away from off his face.
Keeps him nice and dry. He likes it.
He likes it.
You see my stuff.
So friends, I'm rocking out of here. I want to try to get up at 5 tomorrow.
Good plan.
So
that's in 5 hours.
It was great talking with y'all. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, we should probably all head out.
Get some sleep.
Yeah,
that's always good. Well, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. It was fun. Again, next time new Space Marine releases are out, we'll have you back, Nick.
All right, look forward to it.
And if we don't for some reason, you have to hassle us and say like, what the hell, guys? Like you said you were going to invite me back, and like you never did.
But he's not going to hassle us about that. Just going to hope, like, thank God they didn't remember.
Yeah.
All right, I really got to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Thank you, sirs.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, certainly.
Over and out.
Enjoying the hobby, everybody.
You too, yeah.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.